this week on Painted Plastic.
Hey everybody, Brandon back with some more Painted Plastic. Welcome to episode 5. Can you believe it? Episode 5. All of our base colors are done. Actually, I got a tray right here. All our bases are finished. We got them the way they want them. I did finish up the beam rifle. I think that looks pretty spanky. Yeah, so they are ready for some gloss coat. Right, got a bunch of boards like that. Oh, hey, wait, one thing I did want to show you. I was working on the shield, and I got the idea that I wanted a character on the shield, right? So, so I contacted my brother. He actually lives in Japan. What up, JM? And I said, hey, what's the kanji for like original? You know, the RX-78. For those of you that don't know, it's like the granddaddy Gundam. It's like the original Gundam. So I wanted the kanji for original or first or you know, whatever. And so he sent me this and said this is sort of original book or original story, right? So how did I do that? Well, it's really, really simple, guys. Got an image of the character, took it into Photoshop, scaled it to the size, and then I printed it on just a sticky back shipping label, right? Cut that out, stuck it on here where I wanted it, and just stenciled over top of it with black paint, right? So it's just a stencil. But I thought it added a little interest to the shield and kind of a nod to him being the first, right? Anyway, so yeah, all this stuff is done, ready to be gloss coated. Why are we gloss coating? Well, we want to protect all this stuff, right? If we're going to do any weathering, we want to protect what we've got here, right? So to gloss coat for these coats, I like to use the Pledge Floor Care. This is a wonderful, wonderful gloss coat, especially for these in-between coats where we're going to do more stuff on top of it. For one, it's dirt cheap, right? You get this whole bottle for like $5 or something, $6. I think I got this at Lowe's. I've got a couple of them over on the shelf. But yeah, and I've had this bottle for, man, I don't know, like 2 years, and it's not even, I mean, it's getting close to halfway finished. I've had it for 2 years. So you see how quickly, you know, you use it. You're going to have it forever. But I love it, and you can airbrush it neat. It's a nice thin liquid. You just airbrush it neat. I'll show you. I've got some footage coming up, but just, you know, thin coats and you can get a really nice shine. So I like to use that. There are a ton of varnishes out there, right? There are a ton of clear coats out there. Try them. Find one that you like. The rattle cans are brilliant too. But just like with the paints, you know, you got to paint them outside. You got to spray them outside. So that's a limitation. But yeah, for a nice gloss, give that a try. Like I said, I found this at Lowe's. So try Amazon, all those places. But anyway, yeah. So let me go off and do a little gloss coating. Be right back. All right, let's spray some gloss. We've got our Pledge here. I just decant it into a little dropper bottle. Makes it easier. Yeah, so hey y'all, sorry to cut in. I keep forgetting to show you this. Before you start spraying, grab a squirt bottle with water. Just spray the inside. This will keep all the dust down. The cup's only about a third full here. The reason for that is I don't want it to start drying in the cup. I'd rather just refill more often, right? So I've got my pressure at about 18, something like that. Yeah. So we'll jump right in with the knee armor here. And, you know, the trick with this Pledge is just really, really light coats. Do really misty coats. You'll notice from time to time the spray disappears, but the airbrush is still wiggling all around. That's when I'm just blowing air, right? Just drying it off a little bit. giving it a couple of seconds to tack off, and then I go right back in with another little misty coat. And like I said, if you take your time, you can get a really nice finish. So here we moved into the shoulder armor, and it's the same thing, y'all. Just really, really light coats. Spray, air, spray, air. And yeah, it's really easy stuff to work with. It really is. Let's see, here we have the face mask, but as you can see, it's the same process no matter what you're painting. Let's see, this is leg, this is the thigh armor. Alright, so cleaning your airbrush after you've used this varnish. The only thing that'll break it up is Windex, right? There's ammonia in Windex. So I squirt a little bit of that in the bottle. Again, it's in a dropper bottle. Give it a little wipe with a clean Q-tip. And right here, I'm just dumping it out on the paper towel. It's off shot, but yeah. Refill the bottle. And with a clean Q-tip, go around again. This is basically just to get it off the inside of the cup. Here, I'm drawing the needle back and wiping off the nozzle. Be sure you pull your needle back when you do this, guys. You'll damage your needle. And here, just blowing the remaining Windex out. Normally I do this in my clean out pot, but you know, so you guys can see. So after that, I drip a little airbrush cleaner in, a new Q-tip, and squidge that around, blow that through, and you should be good to go. Take another dry Q-tip. This is just drying out anything in the cup. Let's head back over to the bench. Alright, we've got our gloss coat applied. As you can see, the pledge gives a really nice finish. You know, just take your time. It's really nice stuff. I think this was about, I don't know, 3 light coats, something like that. What's next? Next is water slides. If you've never used water slides before, they're really, really easy. A lot of people are intimidated by them, but they're really just as easy as a sticker, and you get a much better quality. So we got our water slides. We'll need a couple of tools. We need a cutting device. You'll need some tweezers. Now, I recommend reverse grip tweezers. We will need a paintbrush, and we will need some Q-tips. We will need a bowl of water. This water should be warm, not hot. Just warm to the touch, just regular tap water. And of course, the instructions. You know, keep in mind that there's no rule for decals. You know, you can put them wherever you want, right? Make it yours. I'm going to follow the instructions just to kind of show you how it all works. So, yep. One other thing that I do have is just a paper towel, which I'm going to keep off camera for the sake of our white balance. That's just to dab it off if I get too much water somewhere. So that's just off to the side. Alright, so how do we do it? Let's start with, actually, let's start with the gray one. So, this can be either side, right? Because they're both the same. One's a left, one's a right, right? So I'm gonna use this as if it's the, well, it's our right, but it's the mobile suit's left shoulder armor, right? Now, according to our instruction book, the left shoulder armor gets the B decal, right? It's the big Warner Brothers symbol. Actually, that's not true. It stands for white base, but you know, WB. So that's going to be our decal that we're using. So simple. Grab your cutters and, you know, try to get close to the decal, but you don't have to, you know, you don't have to get super precise. Bandai does a super job of making the carrier film really small. So as long as you know, trim it nice and closely, but not so close that, you know, you're cutting the decal. So there we go. We got our decal. I am going to cut off the B because that will transfer. So just cut that straight off, right? So that's what we got. And I'm going to hold it with my tweezers. And then we just very simply dunk it in the water. And you're going to let it sit for, depending on what the temperature of your water is, the warmer it is, the less time it takes. But yeah, I'm going to let it sit for a minute because it took about 4 takes to get this right, and my water has cooled off. So yeah, let it sit for a second. You'll actually be able to see, here, let me move this in. You might be able to see the decal will start to move around, and it's not quite ready yet. But the decal will move around on the paper. Let's give it a few more seconds. There you go. You see it moving? It's actually sliding around on the paper. So that means it's pretty much ready. So I'm going to dunk it and then just set it on the table. Get a little pool of water underneath of it. 2 other things that you can use that I didn't mention are, excuse me while I reach, these 2 products. You got Micro Set and Micro Sol. Alright, Micro Set will help the sticker adhere without getting air bubbles. Micro Sol will sort of dissolve the film and really lay it down. The best time to use these is if it's going over an irregular surface. Like this is going to go right here. It's nice and flat, no bumps, no ridges. You can use it if you want to. I use the Micro Sol more often. Like once I get the decal in place, I'll use the Micro Sol just to kind of flatten it out. And I'll use this one if, like I said, like say you were doing a decal that went over this panel line. Well, I would use the set then just so it formed to that line really well. Like I said, here I don't think we really need it. You know, it's going on a flat surface. I'll use the Micro Sol when we're done just to kind of flatten it out. But I'm going to give this one more dip and we should be good. Take a little bit of water just on the paintbrush and just put a little bit of water right on the surface. You can do this with the Micro Set, but you know, I've found sometimes it can affect your clear coat. Just be wary of that. And you can put water right on the surface and it does the exact same thing. So now all we want to do is take the decal. It doesn't have to be perfect on the first run, but you just slide it off and then pull the carrier film away. Alright, so now we got it on there. It's just a matter of really lightly moving this around and positioning it exactly where we want it, which something like that doesn't look bad. I think it's still a little bit low over here, so we can get water underneath of it. And the neat thing about water slides, you can leave this and like say you come back in a half hour and it's just not straight. All you got to do is re-wet it. Put a little water on and you could move it around just like it was brand new. You guys see what I'm doing? So now we've got it where we want it. Hope that was all on shot. Got it where we want it. And now I'm just going to take a Q-tip and not rub at all. All I'm doing is touching the Q-tip to the edge and it will draw out all of the water that's underneath, right? And make that just lay down on the surface. Once I've done that, I'm just going to take the Q-tip and roll it across. This is very lightly, ever so gently. All you're trying to do here is just kind of squeegee out any remaining moisture, but no pressure at all. Just roll the Q-tip across. You'll see blobs of water kind of drip out as you do it, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking to get every drop of water out from between the decal. But just like that. Just like that, we've applied our first decal, and as you can see, it looks painted on. It's now, if you hit the light just right, you will see the carrier film, but it looks so much better than a sticker with a big fat ring around it, right? Now, how can we minimize that ring? Well, then comes the micro saw. This will dissolve the carrier film to where all you'll really see is the print. And all we do here is very lightly, with a little bit of saw on your brush, and I mean very lightly, no pressure. You're just going to paint that all over the decal. Now again, this stuff can affect your clear coat, so try to stick to the decal itself and not get, you don't want to paint over here, but just a really, really light coat over the whole thing, and that'll just help it settle down a little bit more. But when you do this, that reminds me, when you first put it on, your decal is going to look kind of wrinkledy. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but see how the decal looks a little bit bubbly, and that's perfectly fine. That's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's going to crinkle up that decal, and then as it dries, it stretches it, pulls it down to the surface, and when that's dry, it'll look like it's just painted on there, right? So that's a water slide. Let's do one more. I have the chest armor, and according to the chart, we should do, let's see, we'll do this one on this side, and that is decal G. So we grab our sheet, we can get rid of our old decal, and let's see, where is G? G is hiding. Oh, there we are. So we'll cut out G. There we go. All right, hold it with our tweezers and dunk it in the water. And wait patiently, or I guess impatiently sometimes, but give it just a few minutes to do its thing. So let's see if we're good. We are good. It's moving. So get a little water, and right where we're going to be putting the decal, just want to blob. And I should have thought this through. I've got no way to hold this thing up. Let's see, this is a little poster tack. I'm just going to stick it on there, hold it up. Oh, maybe I'm not. How about there? There we go. All right, got our decal, got our location in my own camera, just barely. So again, I'm going to slide the decal forward, get it on the surface, and then pull the carrier film out from under, just like that. All right, and it's nowhere near straight, but that's no problem. All we got to do, we've got water underneath the decal, is just move it around. Actually, that's not too bad at all. That might be it. I think that is it. I think I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Q-tip. Again, we're just wicking off any excess water from around the edges first, and then ever so gently just rolling across very, very gently, and that will squeegee out any water that's in between the decal and the surface. Looks pretty good. So just like before, don't necessarily think we need it for this, you know, nice flat part where there's no bends or turns or anything, but we'll get a little micro saw, and again, just keeping to the decal. You don't want it on the piece itself, just right around the edges of the decal, and that's really all it takes. Just a little bit right around, and again, you can see, well, I hope you can see, it's you know, it's crinkledy and fluffy. That's all right. It will dry and it will be beautiful. Look like it was painted on. So yeah, that's water slides. They're really easy. They're really fun. And they look so much better than stickers. You know, stickers have the big, you can see the big ring, the outline around it. They're horrible. But water slides, they look painted on for the most part. Now once we clear over top of this, any part that I put a sticker on or a decal on, I'm going to re-clear to protect the decal, right? So even if you see a little bit of the carrier film now, because there's a different sheen, once you clear it or matte varnish or whatever you do to it, that's just going to disappear. So yeah, that's water slides. Give them a try. Like I said, they intimidate a lot of people, but they're really not that complicated. They're a lot of fun. So I'm going to go off and do the rest, right? There's I don't know, a million. But I'm going to get those finished up, and the next episode we'll get into some weathering techniques. Anyway, until the next episode, give some water slides a try. Thanks for hanging out.